It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 304. Tom Crawford, my longtime broadcast partner spanning 17 seasons, the most frequent panelist we've had in our first 300 Press Pass shows, a weekly contributor to the Wolverine.com, and creator of the new Crawford Podcasting Network. Just back from a week in Chicago. You look like you were having great fun.
I was a kid in a candy store. I mean, I love Big Ten Media Days. I mean, I'm a geek when it comes to that stuff. I was just absorbing all of it for the full 2 days and stayed the whole duration and had a great time. A lot of content that you can evergreen in your head throughout the season.
That's exactly the key, Tom. Some people say, I don't know what I can get out of it. You know what? you should be able to backlog that stuff for the whole season.
Absolutely.
Yeah, all right. Want to welcome in Al Martin, and he is the host of Current Sports from 1 to 2, weekday afternoons on WKAR AM 870, and he was co-MC of Earl, a celebration of life yesterday at Reno's East. Can you have any more fun than that?
No, Jack. One word, love. A lot of love under that roof at Reno's East, Jack. And I can't wait to kind of recap it on today's show. And by the way, I loved your impression of complainers about Big Ten Media Day. I like that, Jack. Good job, man.
A lot of whiners.
A lot of whiners. We don't like whiners.
I want to be here.
Also want to welcome Deshaun Tate. He's a Lansing native, Atlanta-based broadcaster, basketball savant with Tate's Takes, and a contributor yesterday to the Love Fest for Earl Robinson. We're going to have a lot of this on the show a little bit later, but it was fantastic, and I'm really glad you could be there.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I could be there as well, and to be able to join you guys on today and even yesterday, where it was very important to be there. You know, to fly into town, be right back here at home, there's not better feeling than that, especially for the purpose that I'm here, of course, Earl Robinson in the celebration of his life.
You're going to be a co-host tomorrow on The Drive with Jack Ebling.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's going to be fun for 3 hours. And you got to visit family.
Yep.
Coming home.
That's
right?
always important.
Yeah. And make a few friends along the way. I know you and Al made some friends.
Man, yeah, we did.
In a roundabout way.
Yeah. We stayed there until 6
we gonna
p.m.,
go there?
Jack.
To say the least, for lack of better words.
We made a lot of friends. All right, let's just leave it at that. Good time last night.
Great time.
You're going to hear from Irvin Johnson and his tribute to Earl Robinson. But next, we're going to talk about Big Ten football media days in terms of the Big Ten Conference, Michigan State, Michigan, what to expect, some talk about maybe divisional realignment. We will see, and we'll be right back with all of that and more coming up on Press Pass here on Fox 47.
This is where I was mugged and left for dead.
Where I was when I was carjacked.
Where I was when I was robbed.
And this is where I learned victims have rights.
I can get emotional support.
And help with medical bills and lost wages.
Call the Michigan Crime Victims Compensation Program at 877-251-7373 or visit michigan.gov/crimevictims.
They say you can never predict the weather in mid-Michigan, but that hasn't stopped Fox 47 from guaranteeing it.
Fox 47's proud to be the only station in mid-Michigan with a weather guarantee.
Every time we get our forecast right, Fox 47 makes a donation to a local charity. Get it wrong, and we double it.
And the team from Trips Collision Center says yes to helping local nonprofits. So we'll be matching every Fox 47 donation dollar for dollar.
The 3-degree guarantee, only on Fox 47 News.
The new Fox Sports app, now with live streaming. Download it from the App Store today.
Team spirit. Face paint. more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I will be again in August for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Your sixth commissioner of the Big Ten is going to be a great leader for this conference. He'll come to work with us on September 16. We'll work side by side through September, October, November, and December. And then my last day will be January 1, and later in the afternoon of January 1, Kevin will become the sixth commissioner of the Big Ten.
And so our core values are the same, and our culture is the same. And, you know, some things that we've looked at moving forward is in the message that we've had to our team is what we call tough love, which is we have to be tough. We have to be tough physically, mentally, emotionally. We have to be tough on the field, but also loving our coaches, loving our players, loving our teammates, and making sure that there's that relationship, because we want to motivate through love and making sure that it's a positive environment where guys love coming to work every day and bringing energy. And then if they put so much into it that, you know, there's no way they're going to in the fourth quarter give up because they put so much into it.
There you see Jim Delaney after his 31st State of the Conference address, and Ryan Day, his first experience, the Big Ten kickoff meetings. Al Martin, let's start with Jim Delaney. Has there ever been a more impactful conference commissioner, and how should he be remembered?
Boy, those are two really good questions, Jack. I think the first aspect you want to look at is how successful Jim Delaney made the Big Ten Conference from a financial perspective, because there is no doubt that under Jim Delaney's leadership, the Big Ten Conference swam in money. I mean, the creation of the Big Ten Network, right? How about the $6 billion CBS deal for men's college basketball? You can talk about, you know, the first college football playoff system, replay system, being implemented. The expansion of the conference also brought in money from 11 and then to eventually, 14 teams. And then, on the negative side, some of the things that Jim Delaney was criticized about throughout his tenure, the conference tournaments in basketball being in New York and D.C., right? People complained also about the Friday regular season games, right, for college football. And he was against the college football playoff as well. So it depends on how you look at it. Financially, though, crazy number here, Jack. Big Ten schools will be making $50 million plus a year when his career is said and done. So no doubt about it, he brought in the moolah.
No question about that. Deshaun, the big topic from Thursday and Friday had to do with conference realignment. Taking a look at the predictions for this season, the way the media thinks these teams will finish, it's possible that MSU and Purdue will just flip. It's possible that they will have a 1 through 14 with no divisions at all, and then the top two will just square off at the end of the year. Looking at this order, what would you like to see change in the status quo?
Well, certainly not, too much movement within the conference itself. I think that we've pretty much seen the most out of that we possibly can. My biggest question is, how does it affect the viewership, And from that standpoint, I kind of feel like we're getting to a point where it's kind of like a little bit too hard to keep up with, in a sense. And we've already talked about bringing over, Nebraska, Rutgers, and Maryland over the course of the last few years.
Right.
Now we're talking about moving around Michigan State and swapping things out. I couldn't imagine that that's going to be something that's very attractive for especially fans that are Spartan fans. When you're looking at it, we're talking about potentially no Michigan, no Ohio State, or you will be able to get one of them. we still haven't even talked about, you know, the rivalry with Penn State or anything like that. I think that is going to be a difficult pill to swallow, if not nothing else.
And everyone seems to think that Michigan State, Mark D'Antonio, would love to be away from Michigan and Ohio State. That's not necessarily the case. That Michigan State game is so important.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that D'Antonio does so much recruiting in Ohio, he can go up to a kid and say, hey, they didn't want you. You come with us, you'll get to play them 4 times and twice in the horseshoe.
Right,
So
exactly.
he wouldn't be able to say that.
Yeah.
Tom, when you look at the Big Ten this season, I want to take a look at 10 players who are predicted to be dominant, 5 from each division. Who should be on that list? And who shouldn't be on that list? Do you have anybody you'd like to add?
Well, I'd like to do a switch out on the West. First of all, look at the last 3 guys in the West. Patty Fisher, Rondale Moore, and Jonathan Taylor. Wow, that's a lot of talent. But I'd take Adrian Martinez out of there because he's going to get a little sophomore jinx.
Yeah.
I put Nate Stanley in there, 31 starts, almost 3,000 yards passing. And then on the other side, I'm going to take the Buckeye out of there, J.K. Dobbins, because his offensive line's not going to be as productive this year.
Of course.
And I'm going to insert Shea
I knew that. I knew it was coming.
For a couple reasons. The up-tempo, Josh Gaddis, no huddle. It fits his skill set. You watch. He's going to have a terrific year.
You got to get your guy in there
first.
You got to get your guy in there, man.
Shocker, right?
You can't replace a Buckeye with a Wolverine until Michigan actually beats them once.
Preach on, Jack.
Yeah, you can. You can do it on press pass.
All right, we will be back in just a minute. Our next 2 segments, we're going to talk about Michigan State and Michigan and a very relaxed Mark D'Antonio. Hadn't seen him like that in a long time, but we'll be back, and we're going to talk about where the Spartans stand and what to look for in 2019. It's Press Pass here on Fox 47.
Doubling your money is always a great bet. So this month at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, we're doubling the value of your trade up to $4,000.
Drive a 2019 Chevrolet Trax LT, now just $137 per month.
Your trade is worth more at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos in July. We're paying top dollar for all trade-ins this month.
Get a 2019 Chevrolet Equinox 2FL, just $169 per month.
Don't miss it. Get double the value of your trade now, up to $4,000, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first, I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
Hi, I'm Barb Tripp.
And I'm Phil Tripp from Tripp's Collision Center.
Did you know that you can take a vacation right here at home by exploring our Jackson County parks?
Trails and beaches, playgrounds and games, a splash pad, and live entertainment. With over a dozen parks across the county, everyone can find something to enjoy.
Energize your summer with our Jackson County parks.
Guys, I heard something big happened at the beach club last night. Wait, Brandon, weren't you there?
You know I'm not one to spill someone else's secrets.
Hey guys, what are you talking about? Wait, did Steve tell you about our kiss?
What?
I hate to interrupt this gossip fest, but
Yeah, you know what? I'm tired of all this. We should do this for real. What do you say?
Woo!
Do this!
Come on, let's do it!
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graff Chevrolet, a trusted friend with 105 years in the automobile business, and Graff Nissan, next door on West Grand River in Okemos. They'll take great care of you as they have on all 6 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graff.
A lot of people say, like, I don't look past people, but
that game means, a lot for that one. And it's down the big house this year, so, we're excited for that. Last time we were down there, we got a win, and we're going to try and repeat that and bring Paul home. Yeah, when I first got here, that's something that they say, we don't lose this game, we don't want to lose this game, we're going to put everything we have into this game. But, I grew up an Ohio kid. I grew up not liking them too, so.
Did you hear they're making a documentary about it?
Are they?
Yeah, I just announced it today.
Oh, perfect.
There you see Joe Bocci Jr., and I think I just heard Stephen Brooks at the end there with the question.
Yeah, he was in front of him for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He has a close position.
Talking about this team and this season, Deshaun Tate heard from so many different people, Howard Griffith, Graham Couch, Jason Nick, everyone was talking about the different Mark D'Antonio that we were seeing. Do you think this Michigan State team is closer to the 10-win group that ESPN has forecast with the matchup predictor, or the 7.5-win team that Vegas sees?
I think that's going to be tough. If I had to say one way or the other, I would probably say closer to the 7.5 win, because the way we're looking at it right now is we haven't seen this team take the football field yet. So the last thing in our memories is the struggles on the offensive end. And until we get to a point where we've seen that they have corrected that, then I think that we're certainly closer to that 7.5. When you're looking at it, of course, God forbid, situations where you have suspensions, but certainly you have to, consider injuries. Those are always a part of the game. Right. That's possible. I know that chase the moment is kind of the mantra, the motto right now. For me, it's chase the pylon or chase the end zone. That's going to be the biggest decision maker.
Yeah, and you can say, oh, this is an excuse, but to me, it's just an explanation. The fact that Michigan State had 83 starters games lost to injury last year. In 2014, when they sent all those offensive records, they had, I think, 10 games lost.
You can't, how can you plan for that stuff, kind of, Jack? I know next man up, but injuries are a part of the game.
Right. Tom, is it hard to imagine a better defensive pairing than Kenny Willekes, the returning defensive lineman of the year in the conference, and Joe Bocci, who might go down as one of the top 3 middle linebackers in school history?
Oh no, this defense is unbelievable. I mean that's not even a discussion issue anymore. They're going to be really good. It's with Michigan State. It's what Deshaun says, that offense, and that's where I think October 5th, October 12th, at Ohio State, at Wisconsin.
And ESPN has Michigan State winning both of those road games.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, do they?
Yes, and almost beating Ohio State, has a very close loss in Columbus. If that happens, can you see the Spartans winning 11 or more games for the 6th time in this decade?
Well, I'll just be more declarative here. They're going to win 10 games next year. They're going to split those two. I'm not sure which one they're going to lose. Yeah. And then on November 16th, they'll lose in Ann Arbor to Michigan.
Okay.
Of course you're saying that, Tom. Of course.
You've got Michigan 11-1. I'm still waiting to hear the 1.
I haven't decided on the 1.
We'll get to that a little later. Might be November 16th, too, since Michigan State's won 4 of the last 5 trips to Ann Arbor. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Al, 6 Michigan State defensive players are drafted next April, as many predict. Shouldn't Mark D'Antonio's 13th team at Michigan State be a title contender?
See, not to beat a dead horse, but just like Tom and Deshaun have already reiterated, I just have too many questions on the offense right now, Jack. Yeah. Talk to me when they get a couple games in the bag, because can Brian Lewerke become the Brian Lewerke that we saw 2 seasons ago? Yeah. Brad Salem
running back is an issue.
Running back, that's the third question.
Running back's an issue at Michigan and Michigan State.
Right.
Exactly. Running back is a question mark for Michigan State. Can Brad Salem now move into offensive coordinator? What kind of jolt, hopefully, please, bring a jolt to that offense, Brad, because we all know what happened last year and Dave Warner and blah, blah, blah. So there's just so many questions offensively for me. 116th in total defense last season. We all know the defense. Total offense. The defense is going to be good, Jack. We know that.
Oh, it's going to be great.
All right, got 5 running backs to choose from. Got 8 offensive line with experience. We'll see what happens. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Andrew Womack, and I'd like to invite you to join me daily, every weekday, for the Gospel Truth broadcast right here on this station. The times are on your screen, but this is just a program where I teach from God's Word things that have changed my life, and I know they would change yours. So check it out each weekday, the Gospel Truth broadcast right here on this station.
The corners of a city street, a table and a cafe seat. I've got you everywhere I go. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I roam. You're everywhere, got you everywhere. Everywhere I go. Go, everywhere I go.
Start Saturday strong. Start Saturday on Fox.
Dad, why did you kill all those people?
My name is Malcolm Whitley. I hunt down killers like my father. You have a copycat. I'm flattered.
And deeply concerned.
Save it.
There's so much I can teach you about murder. Maybe we can solve a few together.
In the house of the rising sun.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's motor coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
This is, I really am feeling like 2019 special for a lot of reasons. Players, mainly, I really like these players that we have. I think they really want to make Michigan great and make themselves great. High drive guys. And also the coaching staff. This, to me, is the best coaching staff that we have been around, that we've had at Michigan. I talked about Josh Gaddis. I'll talk about Don Brown, who is as good a coach as I've ever coached with. There is no better coach I've coached with than Don Brown. He is all in. He is totally driven. And also Ed Warner did a great job for us last year as offensive line coach. Our run game improved. Our pass protection was better. We gave up less sacks. We saw the players improve a lot individually and collectively.
You're already paying your assistant coaches to the moon. I guess all you can do to motivate them now is give them a little praise in Chicago. But do you think that maybe that was a veiled reference to a couple of assistant coaches who are now working in Columbus?
Yeah, I think so. I always wonder what you saw that Dave Abloff, the SID, standing behind him. I wonder what's going through his mind at these Jim Harbaugh press conferences.
Is he the only coach who's ever shown up at something like this in a suit and a baseball cap?
I was just looking at that, and we should have worn baseball caps tonight in honor of that, huh, Jack?
Could have.
Why not?
We'll do that next time.
Right.
We'll do
next
that.
time. All baseball caps.
Absolutely.
Tom, we know the pollsters and Vegas odds makers love the Wolverines. There's no question about that. Have you ever seen a team that offensive coordinator has never called a play? Defense gave up 103 points in its last 2 games, and its defense lost its top 4 players to the NFL, and suddenly it rises in everyone's estimation.
Well, this starts. Let's push defense to the side. This is about the offense, and this is about Josh Gaddis. Yeah, I understand he hasn't actually called the play, but he's been a tremendous orchestrator in the Alabama offense. And I think with that, finally, Michigan has a great offensive line. 4 guys back. Ben Bredesen leading that. They got Shea Patterson back. in a system that will gravitate towards his skill set. And then you have Donovan Peoples-Jones leading a core of great receivers, 4 solid receivers. I just think this offense is, with the up-tempo, is just they're going to score a lot of points. And I think Don Brown, he's a pride-smitten guy, Jack. And the fact he lost, gave up that 62 points. The Florida game, in the bowl game, was a little different. Devin Bush didn't play, and the team just checked out. But I think
I would have thought the pride would have set in at some point before the 62 points, since none of these Michigan coaches
it's
had ever
kind of
beaten
hard
Ohio
to
State.
do things on. Urban Meyer's a great coach. Okay, I think Michigan's defense will improve. There's enough talent there. You said any dimwit could coach that team and win 8 games, right?
Right.
Because of the talent.
Absolutely.
Okay, and Harbaugh loves his coaching staff. I love what he talks about this staff.
Al, with Josh Gaddis coming in, and he was at Alabama and then had a stop at Maryland for 36 hours. I don't know what. And then they brought him in. Shea Patterson and company, Tom, and they're talking about having more than one quarterback on the field.
McCaffrey, McCaffrey's going to get a lot of time.
How good can the Wolverines be?
Well, like Tom said, I like the new offense that they're bringing to the table this upcoming season. The run-pass option. What do they call it?
No huddle.
The speed and space. Kind of format. And I'll just say this, Jack. And when we talk about Josh Gaddis, again, he hasn't called a play. Right. You mentioned Alabama. He comes from great stock there, right under Nick Saban, and stint at Western Michigan, even Penn State as well. If they don't get it right this year, I don't know what's going to work. I think the RPO style of offense is going to better suit Shea Patterson. But man, a lot of people are looking at this offense this season. If they don't get it done this year, I don't know when. So we'll see. I think this does suit Shea Patterson, though, Tom. I think they have a lot of potential here.
I remember when a guy who knows a ton of Michigan football told me that in year 5, Michigan was going to make it to the college football playoff final. I think we're to year 5. This
is it.
So about that time.
That's what's going to happen.
At what point was that
said? The title game.
That was said the day he was
December
hired.
29th of 2014.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know the exact date.
Interesting.
It's approximately
It was
11
the day that Tom put that picture of Jim Harbaugh on the ceiling above his bed so he could look at it every day.
Sorry, I can't be more specific.
Deshaun, taking a look at U of M's upcoming schedule for 2019, will Jim Harbaugh's team finally win more than 10 games, which Brady Hoke's first team did in 2011? Is this a year?
Yeah, I think that it's funny that the magic number here is the number 10. I think that is very key. I think at bare minimum, I think that 10 wins is very ideal and realistic for this Michigan Wolverines team. And considering all those things, I don't think it's a guarantee, but I think that we are looking at a strong possibility here.
Most likely loss is
Ohio State, of course. I don't think that anybody can really go against that at this point.
Lost a lot of talent.
You can't beat Ohio State.
But it's
can't be in the playoffs.
Urban Meyer's not walking through the door.
In a lot of cases, though, I think that this is really becoming kind of
We'll be right back.
Doubling your money is always a great bet. So this month at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, we're doubling the value of your trade up to $4,000.
Drive a 2019 Chevrolet Trax LT, now just $137 per month.
Your trade is worth more at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos in July. We're paying top dollar for all trade-ins this month.
Get a 2019 Chevrolet Equinox 2FL, just $169 per month.
Don't miss it. Get double the value of your trade now, up to $4,000, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
Hey, what have you been doing up there?
Honey, only ask questions that you really want the answers to. Okay. Gonna get a reward for being such a nice guy.
As long as nice guys don't finish first.
Oh my God, are we poor?
You are. We're doing very well. I know this might be too late to say, but I'm not sure we should have children. Oh, what are you dressed as?
Oh, farm girl.
E-I-E, know. I wasn't always this good at this.
Dad. That's Mike. We went to the mall!
Haters, gonna hate. Peace out.
On Last Man Standing. Weeknights at 7:30 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's our Paving the Way segment, brought to you by our friends at McKerney Asphalt for the best in residential and commercial paving. For quality workmanship at a fair price, call 517-484-3188, as I did late last summer.
And then it was this short dude. And running around with hot pants on. The track of Michigan State. So we were hooping, and this little dude was just running. And so when we got done playing basketball, he came up to me and introduced himself, and I said, wow, this is the guy I've been listening to on the radio. And then thank God for Earl, because we never had a soul station. And from 2 to 5, we finally got soul music in Lansing, Michigan. And then we became friends. And when I got to Michigan State, he gave me my first concert tickets. Man, I remember the Commodores were coming to Jefferson Fieldhouse and having a Miss Brick House contest. And that's when Cookie thought I was all of something, because Earl gave me them great tickets. And I owe him a lot, because Cookie fell in love with me that night. Because she couldn't have Lionel Richie, so she settled on me.
There you see Irvin Johnson, and a tremendous speech he gave yesterday. It was a surprise. Dale Beard didn't tell anybody. I owe you one for that, Dale. But that was phenomenal, and we saw everybody there. You got to look at the crowd, and people stayed late. There were a few people who stuck around till 6 o'clock.
Yeah, Deshaun and I, we just started talking, and food came, and next thing you know, oh my goodness, it's 6 p.m. Yeah.
My
a few
eyes
pops,
went,
pops,
a few pops. My eyes went cross, the pop.
Al, you were there with me, co-emceeing, and heard all 30 speakers.
Yeah.
What will you remember most about an unforgettable day?
Wow, well, it's really hard to pick one moment, Jack, out of those 30. I mean, but you just played Irvin Magic Johnson, right? And yeah, Dale Beard did surprise us. All of a sudden we're prepping for the start of the program, and then you just start to hear this wave of people just kind of get up and, and then Magic walks in. But it's really hard to choose one moment. But for me, kind of like what I said at the very beginning of the show, Jack, just a lot of love. And when we close it out with our memories of the great late Earl Robinson, I stated that it's amazing, truly amazing to watch a room like that fill up with so many people. Yeah. Earl touched so many lives, and I think that's my biggest takeaway. I mean, to live a life like that, we can all learn from the life of Earl Robinson.
Deshaun Tate, you didn't come the furthest to be there, but pretty close. Earl flew in from California. Earl's mentor, Dr. Larry Redd, came in from Texas. Why did you have to be there?
Yeah, I remember, like, it was just yesterday, you asked me, you were putting it together, am I going to be there? I'm like, is that a trick question? Is that even possible? But, he is a person that helped pave the way. I mean, I work in radio in Atlanta, and it's a dream come true of mine, what he's meant for my career. I consider him to be, a radio icon in my eyes. It only made sense. Like, I'm a big basketball guy. You could have put the biggest basketball event in the world on this specific weekend. There's no way I would have missed this for Earl.
Al, with thanks to Larry Cushins, it's a tremendous job with the Earl Robinson Award that people will see in the green room at WKAR for decades, and the trophies that are going to be given.
There it is right there.
You see the microphone trophy that will be given to MSU's outstanding student sportscaster. It's going to keep Earl's name alive forever, just as it should be.
It truly is, and you know, it's so fitting. And first off, Jack, also I want to give a special shout out to you and the entire committee for putting this whole thing together. You guys were the masterminds behind this, and the organization of it was just awesome. Kudos to you, my friend. And that award is so important and really lives up to the legacy that is Earl Robinson, because as Deshaun talked about, I mean, you are a product of Earl Robinson. He mentored so many students like myself as well. And that was a big part of his legacy, and it's why he's an icon, really. So to have that award given to a student sportscaster at Michigan State every year is huge. And awesome job, Jack.
And Jack, if you don't mind if I throw this in there real quick, I'm gonna be brief. You know, there was a time when I really wanted to, you know, kind of be a person that kind of talked about Michigan State, even though I was living in Atlanta, talking about Michigan State basketball. I wasn't given that opportunity in a lot of other places. He gave me that opportunity. I made a big difference.
Well, a lot of people learned things yesterday, and I learned something because I knew that Earl had been a pitcher with the Magic Johnson All-Stars. And then all of a sudden, he wasn't pitching anymore. And I said to him, what's the deal? Did you get benched? It turns out he did. And they had to figure out who's going to tell him that he was going to give way to Johnny Jones. But he told me, no, I've been injured.
That's the excuse he used. I've been injured.
I've been injured.
I'm hurt.
Injured pride. We love you, Pearl. We'll be back. We're going to talk a little more about that. But first, we're going to talk about baseball and the Detroit Tigers, no stars. And we're going to talk about the Baseball Hall of Fame induction in Cooperstown. 6 new members. We'll be right back on Press Pass.
You've heard the name Volunteers of America, Michigan. But what do? We're more than cars. We supply hope for thousands of local homeless veterans. We support thousands of local seniors and struggling families. We provide life-changing services for Michigan's most vulnerable. Your donations provide food, clothing, employment, and shelter to the ones who need it most. This is why we do what we do. We are Volunteers of America, Michigan.
Are you ready?
Fox Mondays.
How do you feel about Shania Twain?
We've heard of her.
Somebody is going home.
How do you feel about
Motown, disco, hip hop? Hallelujah!
And get ready.
Let's go get you that money.
For the biggest season in Beat Shazam history.
I'm gonna put a price on it. $1 million!
Beat Shazam, Mondays on Fox, and watch anytime on Fox Now and Hulu.
Ride with Chicago PD, weekdays at noon on My 47.4.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Every superhero has their kryptonite.
No!
Lactose.
Eggnog.
Lactose.
It's just rum. It stopped being eggnog like a half an hour ago.
Sarcasm.
Was that sarcasm?
No.
Was that sarcasm?
Yes.
Was that sarcasm?
Stop it!
Girls.
Yo, Raj, talk to me. How about a hug?
How about a hearty handshake?
Come on.
The Big Bang Theory, 5 nights a week. Weeknights at 6, 7, and 11 on Fox 47.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment, brought to you by Forest Acres Golf Courses and Golf MSU. With a wide variety of challenges on the east and west layouts, a terrific 12-month practice facility, and a pro shop with something for every Spartan, Acres is always a grade A facility. For great rates and frequent specials, go to golf.msu.edu. Here you see a tweet from the Detroit Tigers today. This is the most wholesome thing you'll see. And of course, it's Nico Goodrum. And he throws a ball into the crowd. And then a young man wearing a Michigan State shirt
That's
goes
so
and
sweet.
gives it to a little kid.
More MSU propaganda there, right?
No, that's the Spartans being generous.
Well,
That's how we are, Tom.
Darian Harris's response, Deshaun, it says a lot when the highlight is a player flipping the ball into the stands. It's the highlight of the week. I guess you could say it could be Castellanos' walk-off today, the first of his career. But that's what happened this week with the Tigers. More of the same.
Yeah, on the unfortunate side, that's probably the best thing that I've seen out of the Tigers in quite some time. But when you're realistically looking at this, you start looking at the optimism of the Tigers and where do you go from here? Sometimes I think we've all kind of been this place in our life. When you're so far down deep at the bottom of the bottom, sometimes the only positive thing that you can do is find a way to look up. They got to win, and so for right now, they're kind of off to at least a little bit better start from where they were just before losing, 6 in a row, I think.
Yeah. Tom, Miguel Cabrera's whiteboard here shows worse numbers than we had last week. That is 30 wins, 65 losses, 316 winning percentage. No, Miggy, that is not your batting average, okay?
That's what I first thought you were trying to communicate there.
How bad can it get,
This
Tom
is really
Crawford?
a bad team. I mean, I watched them today. Actually, last Sunday we did press pass. They had finally won a game after losing all week. They've dropped 6 in a row.
Yeah.
They've won 5 games out of the last 31 outings.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I mean, when you watch, and they won today, Nick Castellanos, he's going to probably be out the door maybe, trade deadline. But it's like they are just really bad when you watch them. Even today, they make mental errors, physical errors, mental errors. I mean, they're just not a very good baseball team, and they're painful to watch.
They started the season 18-20, and since that, they are 12-45.
Oh my goodness!
12 and 40.
But Tyler Alexander, they got a nice little left-hand pitcher now, and now they get all excited about that. But that's one entity.
Al Martin, let's take a look at the Hall of Fame class in Cooperstown today. 6 names you see. Who is a no-brainer there? Who else would have received your vote? And who was a questionable pick?
Well, for me, the no-brainers, Mariano Rivera. I mean, 19-year career, 600.
First unanimous choice.
First unanimous choice.
Right.
Previously, who held the record for highest percentage of the vote was King Griffey Jr. at 99.3, but he gets 100%. Awesome stuff from Mariano Rivera. But also, how about Edgar Martinez, who actually owned Mariano Rivera throughout his career? Against Rivera, he was 11 for 19, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in, and a 1.705 OPS against the greatest reliever ever. I mean, that's pretty amazing. And also, a big shout out to the late Roy Halladay as well. That was the emotional moment of the Hall of Fame ceremony today. He, of course, passed away in that plane crash back in 2017. 2-time Cy Young Award winner. I believe his widow received that honor today. But those are the 3 that really stand out to me, Jack.
Yeah, Doc Halladay, tremendous pitcher, no question about that.
Yeah.
But heard an interview this week with Alex Rodriguez, and he said that Edgar Martinez basically taught him everything except drug use and how to get J-Lo. But everything else he learned about baseball came from Edgar Martinez.
Taught me that.
And he must have taught him well. But Edgar Martinez, really, you think about DHs, we don't have DHs in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Not really.
But now you do. Now you got some guys there who have
Miggy
shown.
can go in as a DH.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Miggs? You ready for that? Yeah. Anything to get out of his current situation.
$30 million a year.
Yeah.
Man,
Somebody
that's a lot of
that
money.
you saw when you looked at that list, Deshaun, those guys who you said, well, that's a no-brainer.
I feel like that person was Roy Halladay, and not just from the standpoint of the unfortunate situation because of his death, but just the type of baseball player that he was. For me personally, that's the one that kind of stuck out amongst the rest of them. Also, another one, kind of 1A, 1B, Mariano Rivera was another one.
You get the no-hitters in both leagues. That says something.
That's one of the most dominant athletes in any sport when you really think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah, you think of how many games the Yankees won, and in 9th inning, it was over.
It was an automatic.
Over.
I mean, there wasn't any drama with the ending of those games.
When he came in, it was pretty much a guaranteed, win. I mean, it's amazing. It was amazing watching his career, Jack.
We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to talk a little bit of golf. Yes, we had the British Open at Royal Portrush, and we had an Irish winner in Shane Lowry. We're going to take a look at the major champions in 2019 and all of the recent history over in Great Britain. We will be right back with that and more coming up. It's Press Pass on Fox 47.
People with intellectual and developmental disabilities have heard "you can't" too many times.
You can't join in. You can't do that. It's about time. We heard. Go where you want. Join in. Live. People with disabilities have the right to be active members of the community. Inclusion starts with you. Open up.
Learn more at michigan.gov/DD Council.
This fall starts Saturday strong on Fox.
Wow! Touchdown!
Every Saturday at 11. Woo! Get started with the all-new Big Noon Kickoff pregame show.
Unbelievable! It's about to start!
Followed by the Big Noon Saturday Game of the Week.
Touchdown!
Start Saturday strong. Start Saturday on Fox.
Watch Live PD Police Patrol weeknights at 10 on My 47.4.
Team spirit. Face paint. More cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank. Dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
And Ireland's Shane Lowry is an Open champion at Royal Portrush.
There you see Shane Lowry and Tom Crawford in a half-hour British Open preview Wednesday afternoon with Bob Fossum and Burton Smith. We must have discussed 15 players.
And now he won one of them.
Wasn't one mention of Shane Lowry. Could there have been a more popular pick? The British Open finally comes to Ireland, and there's a native son holding a claret jug.
Winning in Northern Ireland. And I'll tell you what, that was a brutal conditions to win. And, you know, it's like it was never in doubt. But, he won comfortably. But, man, there were some tough conditions. And he never wavered at all. I was really impressed with that performance. I love watching the British Open because it's always on a hot day and it looks cool and reminds me of football. You know, football weather. That's why I always watch the British Open or the Open, whatever they call it now.
Yeah, it looks like fall, right?
Yeah, fall. It gets me spirited.
Now, let's take a look at the winners of the 4 major championships this year. And as you see those names, what stands out to you?
Well, check this, Jack. This could have been the first U.S. sweep for the first time in 37 years since 1982. Yeah. So Shane Lowry spoils that. And I thought that it was going to be a different native son, maybe hoisting the claret jug on Sunday. I thought it was going to be maybe Rory. He was
that was over after one hole.
After one hole, the quadruple bogey to start the round. But I mean, you look at that, and I think that, you know, the other big takeaway you can take away from that list is that it's wide open in golf. I mean, you just don't know on any given tournament.
Which makes it popular.
It's fun. And my guy Tiger, what was that, dude? Come on, man. Tiger is killing me. He's killing me. Didn't make the cut for the weekend. So I'm a big Tiger Woods fan, so that was
Brooks Koepka always hanging around the chicken coop.
And Brooks Koepka, I mean,
he's the best player in the world.
He's the best player, don't you? He's number one. This is his 5th major championship that he finished in the top 5.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Deshaun, as we look at the last 10 years of British Open winners, you see a lot of different players, some big names, some guys you couldn't pick out of a police lineup. And there they are at all the courses they have won at, going across Great Britain, a couple times to St. Andrews, but they move it around a lot. What stands out to you with that list?
Obviously Spieth and McIlroy and Mickelson, but we're just being realistic about this thing. When you're sitting back and you're looking at Lowry, you know, he's a guy that, you know, considering the weather conditions, despite those, he's basically playing this in his own backyard, you know, so he has that familiarity with the course. And although, like to Al's point, Tiger Woods has not been playing well, but I would imagine that he would certainly be on the heels as they go to East Lake, my neck of the woods in the state of Georgia, coming up real soon, where Tiger Woods has been swinging pretty good the last 2 times that he's been in that state. So we'll see.
And let's be realistic. It was not realistic to expect Tiger to win 2 majors in 1 year. We all understood that.
No.
But to be
competitive. Realistic to expect him to win 1, but he did.
Right.
7 of the last 10 British Open winners, international players not from the United States. We will be back in just a minute, and we're going to have our Cool and Smooth awards brought to you by Culver's. Player of the Week, Play of the Week, Game of the Week, Team of the Week, up next.
Doubling your money is always a great bet. So this month at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos, we're doubling the value of your trade up to $4,000.
Drive a 2019 Chevrolet Trax LT, now just $137 per month.
Your trade is worth more at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos in July. We're paying top dollar for all trade-ins this month.
Get a 2019 Chevrolet Equinox 2FL, just $169 per month.
Don't miss it. Get double the value of your trade now, up to $4,000, only at Graff Chevrolet in Okemos.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Download the Fox 47 News app, available for iOS and Android.
Shot, go!
Yes, we play soccer. Yes, we're female athletes, but we're so much more than that.
USA Champions, the story of the Women's World Cup in their own words, Tuesday on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by all 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious.
And so far, Pacquiao with 6. Thurman was 6 years old. Oh, big right by Pacquiao, stung Thurman. It was a nice little move by both guys. Pacquiao in 8 of his last 9, Thurman in 5 of his last. Either that or a punch, but it may have been a headbutt. I missed it.
Down in this round.
Oh, good right hand by Thurman.
Yeah, he stepped into it when he threw that right hand.
Yes, he did. And now Pacquiao. Headbutt, I missed it.
Oh.
We had to run a little of that fight video because Manny Pacquiao was one of Earl Robinson's all-time favorites. And congratulations at age 40, Pac-Man, for getting that done. All right, Team 304, who's been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion? Al Martin, you're up with our play of the week.
Well, that's a great segue because that was going to be my play of the week, Jack. But I'm going to go a two-parter here. Play of the week, Manny Pacquiao, as you mentioned, Jack. 40 years old to get that split decision over Keith Thurman. I think Manny Pacquiao is from Area 51. I think he's from planet Pluto. He is an alien. I can't believe he's 40 years old and did what he did last night. But also the play that the Earl Robinson Committee put together in that fantastic event that was held yesterday, Jack. That is going to be a night, or excuse me, a morning and early afternoon and night that none of us will forget.
So we're going to have that available for your show moving forward.
Tomorrow,
Right? And we're going to have a lot of that on The Drive with Jack, also Spartan Sports Network. So if you missed it, we'll make sure you get a chance to see it. What about our game of the week, Deshaun Tate?
It's funny, I feel robbed right now because it's kind of taken from me the same way, and I think that was Manny Pacquiao as well. It was everything but an actual game to be played with. The way that he went in there at 10 years older than Thurman was and just hitting from all angles, just the phenomenal job that he did. Probably the biggest point was the knockdown in the first round. For me, there's nothing else that could be a game of the week. Nothing more fitting than for Earl Robinson in celebration.
Tom Crawford, our team of the week is?
The team of the week is the Big Ten Conference for Big Ten Media Days from Adam Augustine and Jim Delaney. That is a great event. I can't say enough about that event. Learning so much, all the opportunities that we talked about before. It's really well run there at Chicago Hilton. And for those media people who are bored by it and thinks it's a waste of time, I mean, you really need to rethink it and maybe check it out and get some evidence.
Not going to mention any names.
No, that's all right.
Rico Beer.
All right, our player of the week, and he kept telling me he was a great player. I never actually saw it, but Earl Robinson. Nobody loves sports more than Earl. Nobody loved people more than Earl. Nobody was a better mentor than Earl, but we used to solve all the world's problems after midnight, and he taught me so much about people, about society, the time that we took that trip. 3 games, 3 cities, 2 states, 1 day, and saw those basketball games at East Lansing and Ann Arbor and Columbus. We got stopped twice for speeding. When Earl was driving,
not when you were driving.
When I was driving, no problem at all. In fact, when Earl was driving, the officer looked in and he looked at me and he said, "Are you all right, sir?" And then the times that we would stop and we would stop to get snacks or something like that, I could have stole the store blind because 3 people had their eyes on Earl following wherever he went. And then his goal was always to go to the Rose Bowl in 1987. He was so excited and then finally said, "I'm not going. Jim Adams deserves to go. It's his last year here. I'll go the next time." And Michigan State, 9 months after he left WKAR, they went back. So the next time Michigan State is there, Earl, I've got that program. We're going to take it, and we're going to put it in Pasadena, and you'll always be there. I want to thank Tom Crawford, Bluebelly Tom. And Tom, you're going to be hosting this show coming up in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah. When I'm in China. Al Martin, Current Sports, AM 870, and Deshaun Tate. Have a great week.
Hi, I'm Chaz with Holt Diamondale Insurance Agency. As an independent agent, I rely on Auto Owners Insurance to provide comprehensive coverage for your small business. Locally headquartered here in Lansing, Michigan, Auto Owners provides great coverage to your bar, restaurant, or brewery.
The Women's Center of Greater Lansing helps women achieve economic self-sufficiency and independence in an environment that fosters mutual support and growth. Go to fox47news.com/women leaders to find out more on where to drop off donations.
Monticello's, the best place in town to help you celebrate summer. Monticello's in Haslett. You have to see it to believe it.